Hi, I'm Georgia and this is my fiance George. In May of 2023, we quit our jobs in the UK, packed up our things and booked flights to Southeast Asia to go travelling full time. After a few days in Singapore, we got a flight to the Indonesian island of Bali.
We're going to a temple to see a performance of the Kecak Dance, which is a traditional Balinese dance. Except I read it's not traditional because it's only like 100 years old. But it's like a Balinese dance, and then it's followed by a fire dance as well. So it should be cool. That was wild. The first 45 minutes were the Kecak Dance, and it told a story of it was a Hindu story that they told.
Yeah, they go. The husband loses the wife. The demon comes and summons the wife, and
it was a really crazy story.
Yeah,
it was really interesting to watch.
It was very good,
but a couple of loose ends at the end that they needed to sort out. But given that they only had an hour to do it, And I'm guessing in the real story it goes on a little bit longer, but it was really interesting to see. And then the fire dance was like 15 minutes or so at the end, which is kind of cool as well.
Supposedly that's someone like wards away bad energy and epidemics and whatever.
There's like a story to that as well, which didn't really make sense, but yeah. But the only reason we knew the story was because we read the leaflet as we were going along. Like, obviously,
I'm pretty sure that's why they give it to you. Then.
Yeah, because like none of it's in English, so you have to just go off what the leaflet says. So maybe the performance, if you could understand it, made a bit more sense than whatever the leaflet said. Anyway, we're off to bed because we're up fairly early in the morning to go to the monkey forest. What happened? Say it. Jeez, say it.
No.
A monkey pooped on her. Did you get it out of your hair? And off your hand?
That was the time I would have freaked out over that.
You did freak out over that.
Not really. Every time a bird pooped on my head, I would cry.
This morning we're going up to the northern point of Bali because we've got a hostel stay there so that we can go around like Menjangan Island and stuff. But in order to get there, we're going to get a bus from Mengwi bus terminal, we think, up to Gili Manuk, which is the port right at the top, like northwest point of the island. And then from there, hopefully we can get a taxi to our hostel. But we don't actually know all the information at the bus terminal, so we're just going to go and then hopefully find the right place.
Wish us luck.
Just the door open. Could have been an air-conditioned taxi. Yeah. We had a lot of money. Whenever the bus goes round the corner, it's still right out of this door. We got to the bus terminal, and when we arrived, the place was literally empty. Like, I'd read online that apparently that's quite busy, and there's usually like loads of guys come running up to you, like trying to sell you tickets, similar to how when you leave the airport, all the taxi drivers come running over, like trying to offer you a ride. And this place was like absolutely deserted. And Georgia looked over and was like, "It is Sunday. Like, are you sure that we can get a bus today?" And bearing in mind that like we still weren't 100% sure if we could actually get a bus from the bus terminal up to Gili Manuk, I was like, no idea. Literally haven't got a clue. But we went in and asked at the information desk, and they were like, yeah, there's a bus, just like go around the corner and there's an information desk there. And so even though it was deserted, in the end, the bus did arrive. But I'd read online that like you're not supposed to buy tickets from the people who like come running up to you because they'll charge you more money. And it wasn't until we were on the bus that I realized you're not supposed to buy from the ticket counters either, because you can buy directly on the bus and it's about half as much. So we paid like 100k at the ticket counter, and the lady on the bus was charging like 50k or something. Like, it's not a huge deal. It's not a ton of money. and particularly because it was our first time and like we didn't know if we were going the right way or whatever, it wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but just now we know, I guess. We are going snorkeling this morning. So last night, after we checked into our hotel, we saw that just outside the gates was like a booth selling like tours and stuff for snorkeling and diving. And pretty much the only reason we came up to North Bali, aside from the ferry over to Java in the next day or two, was to go snorkeling around Menjangan Island, which is the little island just at the top of Bali. And it's a national park. You can't stay there overnight or anything. It's a designated like nature reserve sort of thing. And so we've paid for this morning to go for 3 diving spots to go snorkeling with the boat and the equipment and everything included, and obviously someone to get us there. And then after that, we're going to have lunch on Menjangan Island and then have a little walk around, because there's a couple of temples on Menjangan Island, but there's not loads to do there on account of it being like a national park. So let's go. So this is Menjangan Island, and it's basically a designated national park by Indonesia, which means you're not allowed to stay overnight on the island. You have to come by boat during the daytime and then leave afterwards. And yeah, it's called Deer Island because obviously there's deer everywhere. But you're not supposed to feed them. I think the only reason they're not scared around humans is because quite clearly tons of people feed them, including the people we sat next to just, so that wasn't cool.